Well, welcome to Black Canyon of the Gunnison. We're in Colorado. We're going to take a look at the canyon. This houses some of the deepest views in any canyon around, especially in Colorado, as deep as 2,000 feet cliffs that you can look straight down on. The Gunnison River runs through the bottom, and another interesting thing about it is that it drops 480 feet in just 2 miles. So quite a rushing river there. Lots of waterfalls and lots of trails, but I don't think we're going to go on any of the trails today. We only have one day. So we're just going to drive around. There's loops that you can drive around the canyon and look inside. So we're going to go to the visitor center next. So welcome to Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. Well, our first stop just from the park sign that we just passed is the Tamichi Overlook. This is our first view of the canyon. We're going to take a look at this. It's actually, let's look at this sign. We're here. We just drove, the park sign was right here, so we're going to head all the way down to here to the visitor center. But before we get there, Black Canyon was proclaimed a national monument in 1933 by President Herbert Hoover, but Congress made it a national park in 1999. This park is located in southwest Colorado and is a great place just to stop for a day and just look around. If you want to hike, you're going to need more time. But we decided just go to the visitor center, which is open most days from 9 to 4 p.m., but you need to really check the website to see it depending on the time of year. It's going to cost you about $30 to get in, like most of the national parks, unless you have your annual pass or senior pass. The park itself is open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We decided to go in the visitor center and just take a look around and see what's there. You can ask the rangers here anything about hiking and permits and where to go, but we're going to just stick to the south rim and just look at the overlooks. We spent a little time in here. There's only one visitor center, but this model, like most national parks, gives you a really good idea of what's in the park. We're going to stay along these blue dots, which is the south rim overlooks. There's no bridge to the other side, and the total length of the park is about 14 miles, so it takes quite a while to get to the other side. So we're just going to stay on this side and look at the overlooks and see what's there. Right out the back of the visitor center, you can go down to your very first overlook. Just right out the back door of the visitor center is a short little trail that just walks down, gives you an idea and overlook of the canyon. So we're just going to walk down there and see what's here. Wow, just look at this.
You need to put your sweatshirt on?
Look at this, Debbie. No, you got to come see this. This is fantastic. Oh my goodness, look at this. You can actually hear the river down there. Look at that. There's no way to capture this on video or camera. You just couldn't. I don't know if you can tell how far that is or not, but that's just unbelievable. How beautiful. Look at this rock. It's like an orange quartz, maybe. Golly. You can hear the river from way up here. That's almost 2,000 feet down. And this small trail, this from the visitor center, which is just up there, just on top of that, the edge of the canyon, you can walk down this trail, and it ends right here. That gives you one of the most spectacular views I've ever seen. I mean, you can't help but just stand here and soak this in. These views are just incredible, and I'll have to admit they're a little precarious and gave me a little strange feeling looking over these cliffs. And Debbie was afraid of heights, unfortunately, so she wouldn't come as close as I would. This is just spectacular. We're going to head back up now and go take a drive to another overlook. Can't imagine it being any more beautiful. There's Debbie. We were so fascinated, we went back into the visitor center to learn more about the geology. This gneiss rock, this black rock, and the pink rock. It's very interesting to understand how this was formed. First stop after the visitor center is Pulpit Rock Overlook. It's a little walk, just about a football field length out to the overlook. I can see people standing there, so we're going to walk down there and take a look at the canyon again. This is primarily, I believe, what this park is primarily known for is just its spectacular views. I listened to the ranger telling people about the trails and hiking, and it's pretty strenuous, borders dangerous, so you've got to know exactly what you're doing to do a lot of these trails. So we're content with just looking at the overlooks and the beautiful views. So that's all we're going to do today, is drive around the rim and check it out. So let's take a look at Pulpit Rock Overlook. So I guess this is the pulpit. The Park Service has done a spectacular job creating these overlooks. Let me look at that up here. Golly, this is unbelievable. Okay, we decided to stop at Rock Point because of rock formations look a little bit different. They're different colors. So we're going to walk down here, not too far, and take a look at this view. I wanted to give you just a little idea of how far this path is and really how easy it is to travel. I enjoyed walking along and looking at the plants and the geology and the flowers and things like that. We saw a few little critters, but you really don't have a problem reaching the overlooks. They're close to the road, so I advise checking out the ones you want to see. Well, we made to Rock Point. This is the end of the line, and again, once again, just an absolute beautiful view. It's just like a fissure that comes up here. Golly, can you see through that crack over there? And you can hear the river. The problem is there's no possible way to get this perspective on video or even a camera, because see, you're looking at it through a 2D lens. It's like looking at it on a TV, but with your eyes, with the naked eye, you can see this rock, how much closer it is to you than that far rock. And with 3D vision, using your eyes, you get that depth perspective, and you just can't imagine what this looks like from a depth perspective. Like there's this huge jut, the rock juts out there, down there where the river is. It's coming out from the other side. The canyon goes on the other side through that crack, and you just can't imagine how deep this is. Okay, our next stop is Chasm View. See what it looks like. Oh, look at the stripes in the rocks. Oh my goodness. Just another fantastic, beautiful view. Oh my goodness. You can hear and see the river. The river carved this rock out. And you can see the stripes in the wall, in the rock. Look at it from here, Debbie. This is just fantastic. And look at the stripes in the rock. It's unbelievable. It's just hard to take all this in. They've had rock climbers on these rocks. Not me, buddy. Debbie, was that not fantastic? What do you think of that?
This was a good place for me to look off. I felt a little bit.
Debbie's a little nervous of heights, but she's a trooper. She's trying to take it all in. But the park did such a well job. It's awesome how they set this up. You're not going to fall. I believe the next step next overlook is Painted Rock. I don't know if we walk to it from here or if it's another parking, but we're going to go back up and see if we can find that. Okay, next is Painted Wall. This park's really been around a while, and while there's maybe a 10 or 12 overlooks, we only visited about 5 of them. But I advise seeing as many as you want. I mean, you can see all this in half a day easily. And that cliff is so high. And it's just beautiful too, with the quartz veins in it. This gives you a little perspective, but this Painted Wall view, this cliff is 2250 feet high. It's just an unbelievable view of the river and the cliff. This is Sunset Point. You can get a wider perspective of the canyon from here. You can see the river in the middle. We'll just walk over there to that little overlook there. This has picnic tables and it's handicap facilities and restrooms. Looks like a good stop. Sunset Point. We'll go out and take a look at this spot. The canyon opens up further to the north and widens out, unlike the deep crevices from the visitor center. But this is just gives you a different perspective. It's just as deep. In fact, I think the next stop is the deepest part, but it's just wider. And it's just, you just can't get an idea on video, on camera, what this looks like, but it is just spectacular. It's just unbelievable. I know I say that at every stop, but you could just stand here all day and look at this. You can just barely hear the river roaring down there. It's amazing that it carries that far, but I guess sound carries through this canyon. It's neat watching the clouds go over the clouds. The sunlight's trying to peek through the clouds, and you can see the clouds go over the canyon too, the light and dark areas. Beautiful. Well, we're at the end of the road on the south rim. As far as the road goes, it's called High Point is the last stop, and it's at 8,200 feet elevation. It does have a trail here called the Warner Point Trail that you can walk on, and it's really, I don't think it'd be that bad. It's only 1,300 yards, and most of these lookouts from the road are around 200 yards, 100 yards, easy to get to. So the Warner Point Trail would really be easy to do. It looks fine, so that might be something you could do here. The other trails, I don't think I could advise it, or nor does the rangers, unless if you're over 30 years old or something. Some of these trails drop around 2,200 feet in less than a mile. So it's almost straight down and almost straight up. And the ranger was telling somebody that if you're injured or anything happens, they don't come looking for you for maybe a couple of days. So you're really on your own. But anyway, some of these just are easy to walk out. And of course, this park is known for its views, and it does not disappoint. So we're here at High Point. We're going to take a look just around. I don't think there's a trail that walks out any particular place to see. It's just the end of the road called High Point. It's the highest elevation, and everything surrounding us is just beautiful, magnificent. Snow-covered mountains and just deep canyons. Gorgeous. Well, since we had reached the end of the road, that wrapped it up for this national park. Debbie and I swung around the end loop and started to head back out. And we were left with just a feeling of awe over this canyon and these overlooks. You've got to see them. So if you get a chance to stop by, check out the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. And we'll see you at the next national park.